The dawn broke over the city with a quiet hum, painting the skyline in hues of gold and shadow. Julian Harrow, a titan of industry and one of the city's youngest self-made millionaires, stepped out of his sleek black car, his tailored charcoal suit catching the light with every purposeful stride. His crimson tie was knotted with the precision of a man who thrived on control, and his polished shoes clicked against the pavement as he approached the towering glass facade of St. Augustine's Hospital. Today wasn't about personal health, Julian's. Vitality was as unyielding as his ambition. He was here for legacy. The Harrow Trust had poured $7 million into the hospital's new children's wing, a beacon of hope cloaked in the sheen of philanthropy. The visit was meant to be a formality, smiles for the cameras, a few words for the press, a moment to bask in the glow of giving. But as he neared the hospital's entrance, a piercing cry shattered the morning's calm. "Don't go in there." Julian stopped, his breath catching. A small girl, no older than 8, stood trembling in the middle of the ambulance bay. Her tattered blue coat hung loosely on her frail frame, stained with grime and time. Her braids, once tight and proud, were frayed, dusted with the dirt of the streets. Her eyes, wide and glistening with unshed tears, locked onto his with a desperation that pinned him in place. Before he could speak, she darted forward, her small hand clutching his with surprising strength. "Please," she gasped. "You can't. Go inside, it's not safe." Instinct urged Julian to pull away, to dismiss the disheveled child clinging to him. But her voice, raw, trembling with something deeper than fear, held him fast. He crouched to meet her gaze. "Are you hurt? Do you need help?" She shook her head, her grip tightening. "You don't get it. I know you. You're the man from the posters, the one who gave all that money. They said you'd be here today." His brow furrowed. "Who said that?" "I was inside," she whispered, her voice cracking like thin ice. "They made me go in, but I escaped. I came back to warn you." An ambulance rolled in behind them, its lights pulsing silently. Paramedics unloaded a stretcher, their movements mechanical, oblivious to the scene unfolding. Julian's gaze flicked to the hospital doors where his team waited, likely growing impatient. "What's happening inside?" he asked, his voice steady but laced with unease. "They're taking people," she said, her words barely audible. "People like me who no one looks for. They ask your name, tell you to wait, and then—" Her breath hitched. "They take you through the back doors. You don't come back." Julian's heart stuttered. "What did you see?" Her eyes darted around, as if the shadows themselves might betray her. "There was a boy, maybe my age. I thought he was asleep, but they cut him open. They took something from him, wrapped him up and wheeled him away. I saw it. I saw it all." The words landed like a blow. "That's impossible," Julian murmured, but doubt crept into his chest, cold and sharp. This was St. Augustine's, a pillar of medicine, led by Dr. Eleanor Vance, a woman whose compassion was as renowned as her credentials. Organ trafficking? It was the stuff of nightmares, not reality, yet the girl's eyes burned with a truth he couldn't dismiss. "How long were you in there?" he asked. "Days, maybe weeks. They kept me in a room with no windows, just cold light. I pretended to be asleep when they checked on me. I watched. I saw things no one should see." Her voice wavered but held firm. "They didn't let me go. I hid in a laundry cart and ran until my shoes fell apart. I was going to keep running, but then I saw your face on the signs. I knew they were waiting for you." Julian's mind raced. Logic demanded he reject her story. A child's fear, a misunderstanding, a delusion born of trauma. But his gut whispered otherwise. He pulled out his phone. "Who are you calling?" she asked, panic flaring. "Someone who can check your story," he said, but before he could dial, the hospital doors slid open. Dr. Vance emerged, her white coat pristine, her smile warm as sunlight. In her hand, a clipboard. Behind her, 2 orderlies pushed a gurney, a body bag zipped tight atop. That's her," the girl whispered, shrinking behind Julian. "The one with the clipboard." Dr. Vance's eyes found Julian, oblivious to the girl. "Mr. Harrow, we're so glad you made it. The press is ready upstairs. Just a quick photo with the new wing's equipment." Her voice was honeyed, practiced. Julian's gaze lingered on the body bag as it disappeared toward a service elevator. "What's in that bag?" he asked, his tone clipped. Dr. Vance blinked, unfazed. "A patient, sadly deceased. Routine transfer to the coroner's office. We've had a few losses this season. Tragic, but expected." He studied her, searching for a crack in her composure. "I want to see the records. Name, cause of death, admission details." Her smile tightened, just for a moment. "That's not typically shared, even with our generous donors." "Then I'll wait for the police to ask," Julian said, his finger hovering over his phone. The air grew heavy. Dr. Vance's eyes flickered, a shadow passing through them. "Mr. Harrow, let's discuss this inside. It's chilly out here." "I'm not going inside," he said, his voice like steel. He turned slightly, feeling the girl's trembling hand clutch his coat. "Is this the doctor you saw?" She didn't speak, but her grip tightened, an answer louder than words. Julian dialed emergency services. "I need to report suspicious activity at St. Augustine's Hospital. Possible child endangerment. Send someone now." Dr. Vance's facade cracked. "You're making a mistake," she said, her voice low. "No," Julian replied. "I'm finally seeing clearly." When the police arrived, Julian was already coordinating with hospital security, pausing his foundations, funding and ensuring the girl, whose name he learned was Lila, was safe. Detectives took her statement, secured the body bag as evidence, and led Dr. Vance away, her clipboard abandoned on the pavement. Weeks later, the truth spilled across headlines. Elite hospital exposed in organ trafficking scandal. Lila's courage had unraveled a horror hidden behind sterile walls. Julian stayed by her side through every interview, every court date, every quiet moment of healing. He funded her therapy, her new home, her education, not out of obligation, but because she'd given him something no fortune could buy: purpose. When the foster papers were signed, Julian took Lila to a small cafe by the river. Her new green coat hugged her shoulders, her braids gleaming under the sunlight. Her eyes still carried the weight of her past, but they sparkled with something new: hope. Over a plate of pancakes, she looked at him. "You didn't believe me at first, did you?" He chuckled softly. "I thought I was the one saving you." "You did," she said, her smile faint but real. "But you listened first." Julian gazed out at the river, its surface catching the light. "You saved more lives than all my millions ever could," Lila shrugged, poking at her food. "I just didn't want anyone else to disappear." He reached across the table, his hand finding hers. "Thank you," he said, "for pulling me back." In that moment, the man who'd walked into the hospital for a photo op walked away with something far greater: a daughter, a truth, and a story that would echo in hearts forever. If this story touched your heart, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Whirl Tales for more stories that stir the soul. Drop a comment below and let us know where you're watching from. We love connecting with you. Until next time, stay brave, stay true, and keep believing in the power of a single voice.